Hi everybody, and welcome to part 2 of my Quibids series. This part is going to deal with bidding strategies. My first part was a quick overview on Quibids itself, and in our third part we're going to talk a little bit about Microsoft Excel and how you can use that to your advantage. But on to session 2, so bidding strategies. Now, I've found that there are two different types of bidding strategies on here. Both of them seem to work fairly well. One is what I call the sniper strategy, and the other one is called the bully strategy. So first, let's talk about the bully strategy. Now, the bully strategy, typically I find that the bully strategy works well for some of these smaller ticket items. And let's take a look at one of these smaller ticket items. So let's talk about, say, a 15 bids voucher, which is relatively small. So if we go into this particular auction and we take a look at it right now, it's running at about 26 cents, which is still fairly high for a 15 bid voucher. But typically what a lot of the better bidders will do is wait for a short amount of time. Like a 15 bid pack might sell for a maximum of say 40 to 60 cents on average. Some of them will certainly go higher. That's usually relatively your highest one. So what a lot of the experienced bidders will do is they'll get into the bid packs somewhere around say 20 to 21 cents. And then what they start doing once they've decided they're going to commit themselves to winning this is go in and bully the bidding. What I mean by bullying the bidding is that, and you can see this Gabriel Tech has actually just won it. And what they'll do is they'll come in, and once they've committed themselves to start bidding, they'll bid, and every time that somebody else throws in a bid, they jump right on top of them. So what they're trying to do is establish the fact that I'm in here for the long haul, and no matter how many times you bid, I'm coming right over the top of you. You might as well not waste your bids. When they can, if you can find a good time to get in there where you don't have a lot of experienced bidders into these, the bully strategy on these smaller ticket items will certainly work well, and a lot of times you win a lot of these auctions. The reason they're using this bully strategy is try to win the auctions quick and at a low price. It certainly can backfire on you, but if you get in at the right time, start watching the different bidders that are involved, like he might review and see what kind of bidders that he's faced against. So if you look over here, you can see the types of bidders that these people are, what they've actually gone after, and they can bide their times and get in there. It's a good strategy, but what I would suggest is making sure that you understand exactly when the right time is to get in and bid on these items. Good way to do that, just going to go back to the home page here. And what you can do is, let's say that we wanted to do, you can always do a little bit of research on the item. So let's do a little bit of research on these voucher bids. So you're going to type in voucher in the search screen, hit enter. And what that'll bring you up is a good history on some of the bids that have gone. Now we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and we're going to look back a little bit. You see you got a lot of pages here. So let's look back a number of pages back. So here you can see these are all sold items, and you can start to see the types of prices that these were going for. So when we were talking about the 15 bid voucher, the smaller ticket items, you can see here 14 cents, you can see 4 cents, 14 cents again, 9 cents. So you can see that they certainly don't sell for much. There's one that's a little bit more at 47 cents down here. And if you keep going, you've got another one down here at 21 cents. So like I was saying, the average on your 15 bid vouchers is usually somewhere around anywhere from 25 to 60 cents, depending on the time of day that you're looking. Don't forget that you can always check and see what time that the bid actually ended, what day. But I've found that for the most part, it doesn't really matter too much on the time of day. It's especially for voucher bids, because they appear so regularly, that averages usually play out best in the end. So find out what the average sale price is in there, and if you want to use the bully strategy, make sure that you set yourself up for the right time that you want to come in. You want to come in around that average, say 25 cents on a bid voucher, and if you want to bully, start bullying at that point. Establish yourself in the auction and say, this is my auction. and you might be able to get it for 3 or 4 bids. Again, it's always a little bit risky when you're doing the bully strategy, just because you're throwing a lot of bids out in a short amount of time. But a lot of people get intimidated, especially the inexperienced bidders will get really intimidated in a hurry, and you might be able to find yourself winning in an auction using that strategy with very few amount of bids. So that's really the bully strategy. Again, I find that it works much better for smaller ticket items than it would for the larger ticket items. Now, when we talk about larger ticket items, let's talk about things like, let's see what we've got on the screen here right now. And we've got an Apple iPad 2 64 gig here. Going in here with a bully strategy early in these auctions, not a good idea. You're going to waste a lot of bids, and a lot of times you're gonna max out your bid collection and end up without the item. Now, if we go into this item and take a look, this is a $719 item. So, like I was talking about in my first session, we were talking about the Buy It Now feature. Buy It Now feature with an Apple iPad 2 64 gig at $719, you're going to have to use an awful lot of bids in order to make the Buy It Now feature really a decent option. So you're getting into a big ticket item, you're not even thinking Buy It Now, you're thinking win this auction. So with larger ticket items, what I would suggest is the sniper strategy. Now, what I mean by the sniper strategy, it's a lot like what I was talking about with the bully strategy and the smaller ticket items. Again, your best friend is always going to be, if we go back to the home page, is your search options. And again, in session 3, I'll show you how you can maximize using that search option with Microsoft Excel to really get yourself established, knowing the prices and things like that. But let's talk about, instead of an Apple, let's go with Fujifilm cameras. Fujifilm. So here we can see that there was a lot of sales, and you can see the prices they go for. 77 cents, great buy there, 47 cents, but then you start seeing the higher ticket numbers. 13.20, 15.77, you know, even 2.08, but you've got 10.88, you've got 12.37, 13.20. There's certainly a large range that you'll have for these cameras. Some people get really fortunate to be able to come into these auctions and get them at a real cheap price. But really, the averages say that you're probably going to be paying somewhere between $15 and $20 for these items. So my suggestion to everybody out there that's going to be using the sniper strategy is that you get in there at the average time, or find yourself a comfortable time to come into the cameras. So if I was going to start bidding on a Fuji camera, I probably wouldn't even think about bidding on this camera until it hit at least $15. At that point, we're going to look at one of the other auctions, but at that point, if I wanted to come into we'll go back into the Apple iPod just for the sake of continuing the conversation. What I'm going to want to do, once I've gotten to the point in the auction where I feel I'm comfortable that I really want to start bidding on these items, is I'm going to start watching. First of all, we're going to take a look here, see how many bidders you've got going on in the last 5 minutes. 13 bidders, this thing's going to keep running for a little while longer. Probably want to keep watching and see for that to come down a little bit. And one thing you're going to want to be able to do too is add this to your auction list. The reason I'm saying that is because let's say that you step away, you know that you're nowhere near the time where you want to be able to get into this item because you got a lot of bidders going on. So you're still biding your time. Add it to your watch list, because more often than not, these items will suddenly disappear from your main home screen once they hit a certain price. And if you don't have it on your watch list, you're not going to be able to bring it up. You've lost an opportunity to go after that item. But if you have it in your watch list, you can always go back into the auction and get involved in the auction at the right time. And the other good thing about the fact that you've had it on your watch list, again, you can see I've added it down here, is that once it disappears from the screen, then your bidders will quickly start to diminish. You'll start to see that it goes from 15 bidders to 12 bidders to 11 bidders. Once you get down to say 4 or 5 bidders, you're probably, if you're already at your comfortable price level and you're at a comfortable level for your bidders, it's time to get ready to start getting involved in the auctions. So what I typically would do is wait until the timer here runs itself down to 1 second. So let's say I've hit the 1639, I've got the right amount of bidders, now we're sitting with 9, it's starting to come down, and I'm getting ready. I'm going to hang over the bid button and I'm going to start waiting. And I'll watch the timer. Once I see it get down to 1 second, that's when I'm going to jump in. This to me is considered the sniper strategy because you're conserving your bids, you're letting other people bid up the prices for you, you're not wasting your bids. You can see that these guys are continuously bidding at 15 seconds and 15 seconds. You'll probably see somebody else come in. They're using the Bidomatic as well. What that is it's an automatic bidding process for you, and a lot of time Bidomatic won't bid at the 1 cent. So you can see that these guys are wasting their bids. You're sitting back, you're relaxed, you haven't had to use a bid yet, but you're at that level where you're ready to snipe. So we keep watching this auction. Let's see how long it takes before you can actually have to bid. I mean, we've already gone about 10 or 12 bids since we said that we were going to get involved in this auction, and we still haven't seen the 1 second yet. So let's keep watching. So we're down to 4 seconds here already, and hit 2 seconds, we still haven't bid. So again, these guys continue to run up the bids. We're back to 10 bidders, but you're still sitting back in your chair and you're comfortable waiting for that opportunity. Once that opportunity comes in, you can mix it up a little bit. What I would suggest, if you really want to conserve your bids, stick to the penny. When it gets down, sorry, not the penny, stick to when it gets down to the 1 second. That way there, you're only using the minimum amount of bids to go after the article. You're going to frustrate people. You're going to frustrate the guys that are coming in and trying to bully at this stage in the game, because every time they throw that bid in there and then they sit and they wait for the 15 seconds and it gets down to the 1 second, and guess what? You've thrown another bid at them. You're going to irritate them. After a while, you're going to wear them down. Are they wearing you down? No, because you're going to have other bidders bidding in as well. They're going to start to wear down the price, and you're saving your money. Because what's the big thing about bidding on Quibids is the fact that every time you throw a bid in, that's a 60 cent, use it and lose it. That's the two strategies that I want to talk to you about today. Again, it's very useful to go with the bully strategy when you're going in for small ticket items. Go for the sniper strategy when you want to go after that big ticket item. Don't expect that you're going to be able to get in on that ticket item and be able to win it with 2 and 3 bids. Get a good stockpile of bids ready to go after that large ticket item, and then bide your time. Make sure that you have good history on the article, know what the averages that they're selling for, when they're selling the cheapest on what days. Do a lot of research on the item. Again, I can't say enough that little search bar on the home page for looking at your items, it's a key element in winning these auctions. So I hope you've all enjoyed my second session on Quibids, the bidding strategies. If you did like it, please feel free to join my channel. I'm also going to leave a link. If you haven't joined up with Quibids yet, I'll leave a link in the message box below the screen. It's a link that will also give me a free 25 bids if you found my information useful. It's always appreciated that you kind of throw that back at me. But again, this was strictly for you guys to be able to understand a little bit more about the strategies and not fall into the some of the crutches that some of the new bidders are falling into early. Thanks a lot. Have a good day, and don't forget session 3 coming up on using Microsoft Excel to your advantage.